Hello, my name is Swiss Bianco. In this video we will have a look at a cjrb kinetic flip knife. I did not know that company and their products. They are in the knife business for some time, and but a couple of years ago at a blade show they did display that new kind of knife. I don't think there was before such a knife. What we have here is basically a mix between a butterfly knife and a switchblade. So as we look at the item, we have a typical box, nothing fancy, and then the item was in that wrapper, and then we have the knife. They made a couple versions out of it. This one has the camouflage G10 scales. There is also a black and a blue and maybe some others. It's a stainless steel design, relative well made. There is not many manufacturing flaws on it, as best as I see, and they use Loctite, so we did not have any problems flipping the item like with the Ganzo balisong butterfly, where the screw came loose. So all well in that regard. So this item basically is a mix between a butterfly and a switchblade. The butterfly action is typical with the moving handle. Both handles are the same, just one on the left, one on the right. Then on one we have that typical latch, which locks the handle in the open and in the closed position. We see here in the open position the handle is wider because the starts there, the stopping points are a bit more open. As we close the thing, we can again lock it, and now the handle is a bit slimmer. All well. So that is the butterfly action. Of course you can swing it like a balisong butterfly. They put nice copper washers under the screw. All well. And then we have here that button lock, a typical traditional switchblade button lock, no safety, sliding safety or whatever. And of course the button is only on one side. As we press the button, the blade gonna open automatically, and it also gets locked automatically. So as the blade goes in the open position, the button, the spring-loaded plunger here, locks the blade in the open position. Again, we can do that, or we can simply open the item like that. Now, is that a good idea? Is that something other than a gadget or a technical plaything or something? And yeah, it's the question. I'm pretty glad that the thing has a tool blade and not a sharp real edge blade, because it's such a unique design that needs a bit training. So as the item is locked, we see here the blade basically is already by the handle. If that part would be sharpened, you could cut yourself. And then also, as the item is in the open position, and you can still press the button in the open position because there is no safety whatsoever. You can press the button, and then basically the knife blade would close, and could possibly hurt your hand, or your fingers. If you hold it with the left hand, it could hurt your fingers. So yeah, it's a bit tricky. It's technically for sure really interesting how the item works. You can also, by the way, you can lock it up. If you leave the blade open and you put the lock in the inside like this. So you have the lock on the inside, then you press the button, put the blade in, and then you can't open the thing anymore because it's locked up. And if you don't know how the blade opens with the push button, then you basically have a child safety, so the thing would not open anymore. So you need to first open that, then you can open that again and do the rest. So is it worth it? Yeah, it's a bit questionable. It's for sure technically really interesting, and that's why I got it. That is a good idea that they did not put a real blade, a sharp blade in it, because quite likely many people would have cut themselves because of that action. There is also no safety on the switchblade mechanism. If somehow could be a safety integrated that would prevent some of the rather dangerous handling that I just showed, that would be for sure great. And then of course there is the question of a price, because balisongs are not too inexpensive usually, and the switchblade not either. This is made in China. Because of the tool blade it was easy to import to USA, but still it did not sell too well at all. This one is from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. They had it on sale for like $20, and they are now all sold out. I just checked it prior I made the video. So that design is gone for now for that price. I can't remember exactly how much the suggested retail usually was. I think it was around $60, something like that. And yeah, technically really interesting, but for the real world, for using, quite likely not. Even if you are in stress and you wanna use that as a tactical knife, you may cut yourself if that would have a real blade. I'm not aware of that anybody makes real blade versions of that, or if they import a real blade version, that would be for some for sure interesting, but for safety I quite likely would not do that on my one. So it's a technically interesting piece for sure, great for the collection, but a bit less for using. Anyway, great idea, whoever came up with that, by that cjrb company in China. And thanks for bringing that on the market, so we can test that out and check it out. Now, because that has a tool blade, it is legal in USA, quite likely in most area, but check your laws and regulations, because that is a switchblade and a balisong, say in Europe, say in Switzerland, such things are completely banned, no matter if they have a tool blade or not. That was one of the arguments we had with the Swiss fake government there about what is a knife. If it doesn't cut, it isn't a knife. So a tool blade version should be legal. But anyway, better emigrate and enjoy the freedom in USA. So that much about that unique design.